how much has, what he went through on the way up here shaped him and helped him reach this moment as far, starting ECHL and stops and starts and, limited action because of COVID, stuff like that.
I think that the guys that are successful, every single thing on the way up shaped them. I think they used everywhere they went as an opportunity, as a means to get better. So, if his route started in the ECHL, obviously came from Europe, he had a cultural acclimation period. But all of that, the guys that use all of that as positive fuel are the ones that make careers for themselves. And anybody that dwells on it, doubt, the glass is half full or half empty type of an attitude, a negative attitude, is probably not developing. So I think he's used it all. I know his time in Rochester, everybody loved having him there, spoke very highly of his character, work ethic there, and that's all the way up. So I think he's used everywhere he's been to help him become better because of his daily outlook.
St. Louis's personnel have changed, the coaches changed, but is the identity of that group, the way that what you can expect when you play that team, sort of the same, or is it a little different?
The players are still there, and they play. They've played a certain way for a long time, and you're looking more at the characteristics of their top players. They're dangerous players, and they've got a lot of them. They're still they've always been an exceptionally skilled transition team, and they still are.
When you look at that game in St. Louis, you did get 4 goals on them. Unfortunately, you didn't win that game, but as I recall, you had a lot of shots on 45, 46, something like that. You put a lot of pressure on the goaltender. As you look at St. Louis now, you just need to clean up some things defensively and do what you did offensively in that game?
We'd love to do what we did offensively, and we'd love to clean up the sloppiness on the other side. I felt the game felt really easy. We generated a lot, especially early, and I thought we let up or played careless, thinking that we were in a good rhythm, creating chances and scoring, and you let your guard down against a team that can execute specifically on the transition like they do. That was a mistake. So, that's the way they play. They're an exceptional transition team, and you've got to respect that and make sure respect it to make sure you defend the details that need to be taken care of to defend against that.
How do you feel about the season Owen Powers having to this point?
He is coming off a plateau that he's been on and getting to the next one. So I think he's gone through some struggles and challenges, but I think he's on the other side of that, and all of that is when you come out of that, you're going to be a better player than you ever were, and I think that's where he's at. I think he's the last 10 games or so. He looks like a different guy than he did the first part of the year, and now he has more hindsight, more knowledge, more experience as he comes out of that. So I like where he's at right now.
When it comes to Eric Comrie, you talk often about being today. You want your players to be and your coaches. What can you do today to get better? Is Eric kind of a good example of that? I was just chatting with him, and he said, of course, he's not happy he goes on waivers, but he's not looking back. He was looking, okay, now I get to play some games, and now I get to be here and be ready. It sounds like is he a good example of what you're talking about, that he's just in the moment now and not worried about he can't change what's behind him?
Perfect example of it. That's how he's had to live his career and really survive. And players, and there's hundreds and hundreds of players, first of all, that have been on waivers that are throughout the league. Even this year, I'm sure it's hundreds of players that have been on waivers, and you've got to deal with that. There's only so many guys that are the top 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 guys on each team. Maybe those guys go through their careers without something like that. But the elite of the elite. But I'd say 80% of the guys in the league, how you handle those things is whether you'll ever actually play in this league or not. There's thousands of guys that aren't in this league that are talented enough to be in this league, but they couldn't handle those things. Stay in the moment, stay focused, grind through it, not allow their confidence to fall. They just couldn't do that. It had nothing to do with their hockey ability. It had to do with how they handled the situation. And Eric has persevered through lots of challenges through his career, and he's gotten better as a result, better handling it and better staying focused, and that's why he's still here, and that's why he's effective. So, very good job by him.
What have you seen from Jordan Greenway that led you to give him an opportunity on the power play to try to help you guys there?
His situational awareness is combined with experience. I mean, he's had so much NHL experience now that he recognizes situation. You put him in the bumper spot in the power play, he knows exactly the key attributes that a bumper needs to do in that situation. And then he moves to net front, knows the key, when to move to net front, why to move to net front, how to play in net front, based on the situation. Darlene has the puck, Thompson has the puck, it moved here. Experience. Obviously, we know he's a his athleticism, his skill, those are the other things, but the experience allows us as coaches to put him in different situations. He just picks up on it right away.
He was a good player in Minnesota, but this season, it seems that you've gradually added more responsibility. You've given more trust to him. When you've seen how he's taken advantage of that, how he's improved and added to his game at the age that he's at, the level of experience, what does it do to the rest of the group to see, this guy's 27, 28 years old, and he's looking ahead, he's looking to improve, he's not just satisfied with where he's at.
Yeah, he's a great role model. He's a role model for everybody on the team, really. Guys in his peer group or age area, you guys younger, even guys older, the way he plays, he prepares very well. For practices, he prepares for games. My trust in him it's not grown, it's been what it is. I've given him more opportunity, but the trust has always been there because of those things. And consistency. So he's a big part of things. Obviously, health has been a challenge for him, specifically since we, from the moment we traded for him, he was dealing with stuff even through last season that, and then this year, a little banged up here and there. But yes, he has been given more responsibility, and I think he's shown as a positive role model that kind of leads. He's an initiative taking guy that shows guys, leads the way. This is the way we need to play. This is the direction we need to go. And he does those things with confidence and hindsight.
Back to Owen. Could you expound on how he's gotten himself out of his whatever you call a slump or whatever? Because it's it's unique for him. He probably never went through something like this, maybe that long, to be able to get out of it. Could you kind of maybe explain what you saw from him?
I saw what's common with lots of players under his circumstance. You're talking about the number one pick in the draft, having an exceptional rookie year. Look, there's other guys that won rookie of the year and history that they have a tough time the next year. They're challenged the next year. It's not as easy, and you have such a good season like Owen did last year, and you sometimes get ahead of yourself, or you get out of the moment. And this league is harsh on those that don't stay in the moment. And I think if it's your first time going through it, and you're certainly first time going through it at this level, it's a harsh reality that it takes you a while to realize, oh my God, I'm not dialing into just what I need to do. And he's a player that's judged and compared to other players around the league because of where he's picked. Lots of guys, if you're picked in the first round, and Dylan Cousins went through this, you're almost compared to the guy that was drafted ahead of you or the guy that was drafted behind you. And even though he's on another team and everybody talks about it, did they get the right pick? Is this guy the right pick? Is that guy the right pick? And a lot of that stuff it needs to just go away, and it takes time for it to go away. But those players are going to have to deal with it because everybody keeps bringing it up to them. They're always compared to a guy that's not even here in this city every night. And, Darlene's compared to the guy on another team, and that guy had 3 points tonight. Why didn't Darlene have 3 points tonight? And it pulls you out of the moment. So I think for Owen, he's acclimated to that. It's not going away, and more dialed in on what he needs to do, and has a greater sense of objective and a greater, vision for what he needs to do.
Would you correlate those struggles that Dylan had and Owen had to the fact that they just signed big contracts and they put sort of the self-imposed pressure on themselves?
Yes, they have. That is a big one. I mean, Owen didn't sign till training camp. That's so. How could look at the contract that was signed? You think that wasn't on your mind during camp? I mean, it's your life-changing, life-altering thing, and it's so yeah. But players all over the league are dealing with this. You got to learn how to deal with it better than the next guy. We just talked about Comrie. He's learned to deal with his circumstances better than the other goalies that are no longer in the league, and he's become exceptional at staying dialed in and focused. And players need to learn that. I mean, this is a new level. Like I said, for Dahlin, the moment Rasmus Dahlin came in this league, he was compared to everybody else that's not even in Buffalo or who we just played against every night. And that's a lot to take on for young guys and sort out, and to be able to learn how to dial back in to get in the moment. And it's a process for everybody, and it is for all the guys I mentioned.